there, and welcome to 2019. Crikey, it doesn't seem real. Well, it's another year. It's early on in the year. It's only middle of January, but I got a nice tripod for Christmas, and a friend of mine gave me a stick-on mic, which should help with the sound. So I thought I'd give them a try in the garden, which is frosted over today. It's only about 1 degree above freezing, but the sun is out, and I've been thinking of stuff to do. So even though obviously the nature's tucked away now and there's not a lot going on insect wise, I thought we could use the time to rejuvenate one of the habitats, namely this little guy here, which had the 3 concrete what are they, like concrete bricks, which I reused and filled with bamboo. Unfortunately, I had a bit of an accident in November, and I knocked over one that was sitting on the wall down the bottom and smashed it. So I'm going to have to come up with an innovative idea for the middle section. So I've only got 2 of those concrete things left, and they're 1960s, so they're hard to get hold of. You'll see one if you keep watching. So yeah, here it is. As you can see, this is quite an old one. It's still heavy, even though the concrete was out of it when I moved it. You can see there's only 2 concrete things now. The middle one got smashed. I'm gutted, but never mind. Once I put those back in, it will be a monster again, and it will be blooming heavy because of it, but probably not a practical habitat. But if you're thinking of leaving it in the same place, then it's fine. You know, if you do want to rejuvenate yours, it's old, you can drill the holes again, make maybe a little bit bigger. Don't forget, the older the wood, the more they prefer it, or seem to. So, you know, it's no problem with the age of the wood as long as it's dry and relatively hard, as in not rotten, not as in hardwood. Then you could perhaps re-drill the holes either the same size or go 1 millimeter bigger, just to give it a nice clean fresh thing. But make sure you take it once everything's left the habitat, you know, put it in a shaded area 1 year. Let any larvae that's in there leave. They won't come back if there's no sun on it. And then that winter, do what I'm doing. Mine is not a good example of this because there are larvae in mine. I won't be re-drilling holes, but I'll be adding some new ones because there's a lot of wood there and they're relatively fairly spaced apart, the holes. So I can use some real estate for new holes. So I'll catch up with you in a moment. I'm going to give it some thought. I think I'm just going to add a bit of that trunk from the last video in the middle there, and then put that bamboo, which is from the concrete, which is in the plastic bits, around that in the centre, just to give it some life again. So I'll catch up with you in a moment. So yeah, kind of figured out what I'm going to do. I'm going to make another one of these little ones, which is where I put it temporarily. I've cut that to the same length, put the overhang on it. Might as well use this plastic. It's recycled. It's old water waste pipe, I guess. You've seen that in the previous videos, but I might as well use it in here as well, because the roof is quite far up here and the rain can still get in here, as it does with the bottom. You'll find, as we've said many times, that you're more likely to get the holes used if there's some protection from rain and wind as well, but mainly rain. They hate water ingress. It would just kill larvae straight away. So I've just given these little tap out with the hammer to make sure that the pea bugs, or woodlouse as you call them, are out. I think I've got them all, one there. I don't want to kill any. I accidentally did a minute ago and I'm not happy about it. So I've got all those out. So we'll just empty this. There we go. That's good to go. So we're going to put 2 logs here, and then have the 2 smaller ones in here, and then, well, these will be on the outside. Actually, I need to get longer ones than those. I think that one probably fits that one. Yeah, maybe. I might need longer ones of those. I think I must have had a cutting error when I did those. But anyway, so plastic on the outside of those, and then fill it in with whatever's left over to hold it all in. And then I'll drill these first, obviously. And then put the concrete back in, and I'll have to support the concrete because it does eventually kind of wobble its way out a little bit, and I'm forever pushing them in. So I'll think of a way to keep those in nice and tight, and then re-drill some holes on the outside. and we should be good to go. Oh, for any of you keen watchers, now I don't think I did that bad a job of that. I was driving to Wales and I was working on, what was I doing? I was working on the deck, and I had a brand new saw, and I was stupidly, saws are the most dangerous tool you could ever have. I rested my saw on the edge of a cut and reached underneath to grab something off of the ground or somewhere. I was using these A-frames, and as I reached underneath, I pulled the saw back, and just the tip of the new saw just landed on my hand, and it was about that long, and it was wide, and it was probably the worst cut I've ever had. It was at least, I would say, a third of an inch deep. And I thought, if I go to hospital, I'm going to sit there for hours. So I poured some whiskey over it. I'm not suggesting you do this. Pulled my thumb up, washed it out, obviously lovely and clean. Poured some, all I had was whiskey. I poured whiskey over it, took a little swig. Although it didn't hurt that much, I must say. I think it was such a sharp saw, it was brand new. Pulled my thumb up and super glued it, and you know what, I don't think I've done that bad a job of that, considering how bad the cut was. It's slowly going. It's only, what was that, November? So it's 3 months. I think it's coming on fine. Look, you can see, I don't know if you can see that, saws are a nightmare. If you're right-handed, it's your left hand that's going to suffer. You look at any carpenter and ask to see his saw scars, and you'll see loads. That one there, the curved one, was where I hit a knot and the saw bent, and as it bent, it did that, and that was a bad one. But this one was the worst. So yeah, another scar for the collection. So let's get all this sorted out now and drilled and put in there. So here we are, what, 2 or 3 hours later. I've been messing around with the tripod a lot and getting this set up, getting used to it, but about 3 hours later, and I think we've achieved what we set out. I can't do the drilling up this side or in the old wood, because I'm disturbing the existing larvae, and you can see where they are. They're the holes that are filled in, and there's more towards the top. I don't want to do this and then destroy the larvae that are in there waiting to come out this year, but it's come out really well. I reused all those small plastic pipes as well, which I'd made when there wasn't a lot to do last year. Not that there's ever times like that, but it all got crammed in there. There's about 300 holes more in there. You saw how hard it was to get these concrete things back in. That's because the wood's swollen, but I didn't want to bang any more supports on the side for the aforementioned reason, so I've just put a bit of wood glue down the sides. I think that will do it. They're not going to come out easily even when the wood shrinks this summer, but I think that will do it, and that will hold them in there. So it's all ready to go in the winter next year. This coming winter, 10 months, 11 months away. I'll do some more work on it, but I think for now that's good enough, and then hopefully in a month or so things will start thawing out. I think these have thawed out today, but you can still see the bottom pond's got some ice on it, and so there's where is the bottom one? Oh, down there. Yeah, so there's not a lot of life in this garden at the moment, but there will be very soon. I think once the primrose comes out in the garden, that's a good sign that things are on the change. But hey, it's been mild. it's been 50 degrees in Australia, which is their summer now. 10 days of hottest record breaking temperature in 10. So the 10 most hot days on record have been the last 10 consecutive days. That's it. And that is scary. So look, if you want to change, best thing you can do straight away, Veganuary, turn vegan. I know it's daunting. My wife and I were vegetarian. I've been vegetarian 30 years. We turned vegan 3 years ago. Best decision we've ever made. If you've got that spark in you, because you have to have it in you. A lot of people don't care enough to even think about it. A lot of people do. And I guarantee you will look back and the only regret you'll have about turning vegan is, why did I not do this sooner? What was I thinking? And a little bit of shame, I often feel that, and guilt, I really do. But you know, you have to learn in life, and you don't immediately know what it is you're supposed to do. And for me and my wife, that's what it was, and it's changed our lives. It's like we've been switched on, enlightened. I mean, I've never been a particularly spiritual, certainly not religious person, but wow, I'm a different person to what I was 3 years ago. And I cared 3 years ago. I thought vegetarianism was fine. It's not really, because the dairy industry is just atrocious. And why in any civilized society would we even think about locking animals away, imprisoning animals, treating as commodities, other living beings that share this planet with us, and making them feel stress and pain, just so that we can have something that there's an alternative for? There's no excuse for me now, and I couldn't live with that. My wife, God bless her, is an amazing cook, thank God, because she makes it so much easier. And while we're on the subject, Paul and the Jones family, thank you so much for your donation. Another vegan family, as it happens. Brilliant. They've saved half an acre of rainforest yesterday, so that's really good. And can't say competition, it wasn't competition, but thanks to all those who left the comments for this little habitat here to get this. It has gone to someone now, and they'll be notified in the next couple of weeks. But thank you so much for doing that. It was a really good idea, and I will do it again, because it really worked well and it gets people going and on board, and yeah, good luck to them. So I will do something like that in the summer again. I'm starting to use these little log things a lot, so I might just make a few of them and then do it again in a video and give 4 or 5 out. We'll see. But for now, thanks for watching. This will be the first video of the year, and I'm gonna start to plan out a few more over the coming weeks, and as the season starts, we'll get going again. But thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, because it's all for charity with a wonderful World Land Trust. And if you want to make a donation to save rainforest and threatened habitats through the World Land Trust, you can look at the PayPal link in the start of this video, and anything you go, 100% of it goes to them. I'm not even, sometimes I use a tiny portion of it to buy drill bits and stuff for drilling holes for my own local wildlife, but at the moment 100% of it's going to them. So there's nothing skimmed off. I don't make money out of this charity. I'd love to do it full time, but it's not going to happen, and if I did, I think I'd feel guilty about not giving it all to them anyway. So please do that if you feel so inclined. But thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.